What's up YouTube, it's your boy Nash here, welcome back to the channel. And for today's WWE news video, unfortunately there isn't a whole lot to talk about, unfortunately. It's sad to say, I know, but there is still a little bit to talk about here, including the latest on more potential returns to WWE. Wonder what that's about. Triple H had just made every NXT Black and Gold fans' dreams come true. I wonder what those dreams were about. Maybe we're going to be getting NXT Takeovers again? Who knows? Who knows? And this first one that I'm going to be talking about, apparently someone in WWE is dealing with an injury. The question is who? That is the question that we're going to answer today, but hopefully you guys are ready for this video. If you guys are and you guys want to see more episodes and you guys want to see more WWE news videos, which get posted every Thursday, sometimes on weekends, and of course sometimes on Wednesdays depending on what goes on, make sure you guys smash that thumbs up button, subscribe to the channel, turn on the notification bell, and follow me on all of my social media. Links will be in the description below, as will the info to my fan mail. It will also be in the description as well. Now we are gonna get straight into it really quickly. Hang on, guys. We're gonna get straight into it, kicking these off obviously with the person that got injured, and it's none other than Erik of the Viking Raiders. Now, you guys know that earlier this year the Viking Raiders, came back to WWE from a serious injury, and also the fact that they had a bit of a switch up, if you will, as far as their own personal ideals go, if you will. And we know, and we can confirm that Erik of the Viking Raiders has been dealing with a serious foot injury. And according to Michael Cole on SmackDown, he announced that apparently Erik had suffered an injury during the Viking Rules match, which was between the Viking Raiders and the New Day. And New Day members Kofi Kingston and Xavier Woods back on the 2nd, so 20 days ago. That was about almost 3 weeks ago. Although the Viking Raiders did win that match, apparently they were supposed to have been destined to get a crack at the Usos and the tag team titles soon later on, but unfortunately that was not to be. However, we don't really know exactly how long he'll be out of action for. But you guys know that whenever one member of the Viking Raiders gets injured, unfortunately, both Viking Raiders do not show the other Viking Raider does not show up to WWE until the first Viking Raider is healed up and is ready to go. So we won't be expecting them for at least a few weeks, maybe even a month, depending on how bad the injury is. But But to be fair, ever since the role change, if you will, they've been kicking some serious ass the last few months since they came back. Since they came back to SmackDown. So I don't know. It's hard to say. It's hard to say whether or not we'll be able to see them again, but I think if we do see them again, I think the one thing that we can expect to see happen is the Viking Raiders just going on a rampage, just rampaging throughout the entire tag team division, and then targeting the Bloodline. I know that that tomorrow night on SmackDown, at the time that I am recording this and posting it, which is the same day, which is Thursday, September 22nd, the Usos will be defending the tag team titles against Butch and Ridge Holland of the Brawling Brutes, which should be a very interesting matchup when Solo Sikoa and Sami Zayn don't get involved, because we know damn well that the Bloodline, they're gonna get involved. They are so going to get involved. So I'm curious as to excuse me. I'm very curious as to what we can expect to see happen in that matchup tomorrow night. But as far as this goes, shoutouts to Erik of the Viking Raiders. Hope that foot of his gets better, and I mean, best of luck to the Viking Raiders for whatever comes their way next. But we do now got to talk about some more possible returns to WWE, and the first one that comes into mind is Oni Lorcan. Now, I believe I talked about this in yesterday's video, that Oni Lorcan was thinking about coming back to WWE as part of the NXT brand. And of course too, now with obviously, NXT 2.0 no longer around, and obviously with Black and Gold coming, back, back up on the surface, if you will. Oni Lorcan had tweeted the new logo, signaling that he wants to come back to WWE. But it's interesting because you guys know that the last time we saw Oni Lorcan in WWE or on NXT, he and Danny Burch were NXT tag team champions, and they had to give up the titles because of, I believe, because of Danny Burch's injury, if my memory serves correct. Let me take a look. Hang on, guys. I believe let's see. Here we are. List of NXT Tag Team Champions. Let's have a look. So, looking on this list, let's see, the British Ambition, which were Adrian Neville, and Oliver Gray. What was his... Oh, okay. I guess they defeated Harper and Rowan in the finals of the tournament to crown the first ever tag team champions. And I guess some things had happened with Gray, so I don't know what happened. Let's see, Wyatt family. Neville and Corey Graves. That's kind of hilarious. The Ascension, Lucha Dragons, Blake and Murphy, Vaudevillains, Revival, American Alpha, Revival, DIY, AOP, the second longest reigning tag team champions. That's pretty crazy. Sanity, Undisputed Era, Mustache Mountain, Undisputed Era, Viking Raiders, they were vacated later on, Street Profits, Undisputed Era, the Broserweights, I do remember that one, Imperium, Brazongo, Kings of NXT. Was that really? Wow, that's hilarious. Birch and Lorcan. Yes, I do remember. It was indeed the fact that Birch has suffered a shoulder injury the week prior, so the titles were vacated. I do remember that. MSK. Imperium, MSK again. The titles were vacated because of Carter's release, in which that was just... Pretty Deadly. The Creed Brothers, and now Pretty Deadly are once again tag team champions. So, yeah, so let's see. So we've had exactly 23 tag team champions over the course of the 8 years? Let's see. Over the course of the 9 years, that these tag team titles have been around, we have had 23 tag team champions. That is insane. But yeah. Apparently, Oney Lorcan wants a return to WWE, which it's kind of a weird thing to have Lorcan back in WWE because he was released from WWE. Excuse me, back in November of last year, and actually funny thing is that his release was granted. He actually asked, he actually requested for his release, and he was actually let go from WWE. But of course too, we know that he's been. He's been doing his own thing, on the independent scene, against guys like Brody King, Kevin Blackwood, Wheeler Yuta, I think that's how I pronounce it, and of course too, Dean Ambrose as well. So it's possible that he could come back. But there's another person who is also wanting to come back, and that is none other than Aleister Black. If you guys do not know who the man is, he's a former NXT champion who had competed on AEW, I guess. Started out like sometime last year. Who in AEW went under the name of Malachi Black, and according to Dave Meltzer of the Wrestling Observer, big shout out, no copyrights as always, he said, quote, he wanted out from AEW, and I guess we'll see what happens. Obviously, he wanted to go back to WWE, and he had a lot of time left on his deal. I think 4.5 years left on his deal. It's really difficult to keep someone who's unhappy under contract for that length of time. And from what I'm seeing here, I guess his last match was at AEW All Out this year. Again, I don't watch AEW, but if you guys do know about it, you guys can let me know down in the comments. But I guess they lost a six man. I guess him and his House of Black stablemates Brody King and Buddy Murphy lost to Rusev, Sting, and Darby Allin. I think I have that one right. His last match in WWE was back in October of 2020. On Raw, losing to Kevin Owens in a no DQ match. And then of course too, he ended up being drafted over to SmackDown later on, but he got released in the summer of last year. So honestly, I don't know. Him coming back to WWE might be a mistake, but it all just depends on. But it all just depends on what Black wants to do. If he wants to come back to WWE, obviously for someone like Triple H, who's the head of creative, he's down for it. Because he was the one that brought Aleister into WWE. But you guys are probably also wondering, there's got to be at least one more, right? Yeah, there is one more. Bray Wyatt. So, according to Dave Meltzer of the Wrestling Observer, apparently Bray Wyatt has been in talks with WWE about a possible return. But you guys are wondering, wait a minute, didn't he get released or something like that last year or something? Yeah, he did. He actually became a free agent in July of last year, and his last match in WWE was actually against Randy Orton at WrestleMania, which did not go. Which I think what Alexa Bliss did to Bray Wyatt, turning her back on him, and having Randy Orton pick up the victory over Bray Wyatt, or I guess rather over the Fiend, was their way of sending him off. Sending him on his way out. Out of WWE. And honestly, I think Bray Wyatt coming back to WWE is kind of a double-edged sword, because on one hand, it's awesome. It's awesome because Bray Wyatt, is a former SmackDown Tag Team Champion. He's a former WWE Champion, and he's a 2-time Universal Champion. So he had a lot to give in WWE. But he wasn't able to reach his peak, his peak pinnacle, if you will, until he became WWE Champion back in 2017 at Elimination Chamber, inside the Elimination Chamber. But on the other hand, if Bray Wyatt does come back, what are the odds that he's gonna get lost in the shuffle again? I mean, yeah, sure, it's true that that Triple H did bring back guys like Johnny Gargano and brought back guys like Dexter Lumis, guys like Hit Row, guys like who else? Dakota Kai, Io Sky, just to name a few. Yeah, it is true that he did bring them back, but what are the odds that Bray Wyatt, guys like Bray Wyatt, guys like Oney Lorcan, and of course too Aleister Black, what are the odds that they may end up getting lost in the shuffle and they get released again? What are the odds? Because the way I see it, even though these guys are former champions, not just in WWE but also on NXT. Yes, it's true that they are former champions, but when you look at a guy like Braun Strowman, he was released right around like June, July of last year, and he was a former Universal Champion. Two-time Raw Tag Team Champion, Intercontinental Champion, Universal Champion. He had all the potential. He had all this momentum. He had all of this momentum, and it went down and it went up in flames. So what are the odds that it might happen to these guys as well? It's quite the possibility. But now we gotta answer the question that's been talked about for the last couple weeks. Are we getting NXT takeovers back once again? And unfortunately, the answer is no. The answer is no, because according to Fightful Select, big shout out, no copyrights, they believe that the term NXT takeover is gonna become a thing again, but unfortunately that is not going to be the case. From what I've been hearing, it is going to be. It will not be the case. Excuse me. So as we know, we have NXT Halloween Havoc coming up in several weeks, which will feature a ladder match to determine the brand new NXT North American Champion after what happened on NXT last week, because we all know it was supposed to have been Wes Lee against Carmelo Hayes. Hayes and Trick Williams attacked Wes Lee. Solo Sikoa came in and he said that he got next. He ends up becoming champion. He then defends the title on SmackDown against Madcap Moss. And now he is no longer champion. So the Bloodline is now short a single title. But Carmelo Hayes has been given a chance to right the wrongs of the past and join Johnny Gargano as the only three-time North American champion in history, as just the second man to become a three-time NXT North American champion. The only other person that qualified for the match is none other than former NXT UK Tag Team Champion Oliver Carter. But you guys are wondering, wait a minute, doesn't he have a new name or something like that? Yes, he has the new name of Oro Mensah, which makes no sense whatsoever. Yeah, I'm just as flabbergasted as you guys are. But apparently we are no longer getting. Apparently the term NXT Takeover is still going to be no longer a thing. I don't know if we are going, if it'll continue to not be a thing, or if or if the term NXT Takeover will come back. But the last time we had a NXT Takeover, I believe it was what was it, NXT Takeover War Games, if I remember correctly. Oh no! NXT Takeover 36. Takeover 36 was the last. Was the last takeover that we had before it became just an average premium live event, and then they turned shows like New Year's Evil, the Great American Bash, into basically just another NXT show, which made no sense whatsoever. But it is what it is. I don't really know exactly if we will get a takeover again, but I honestly don't think so, because NXT has already become one of the literally one of the brands to watch in WWE. So it's possible we could get the takeovers back, but only time will tell. But I believe it was August of last year where we had Takeover 36, which became literally one of the most stacked cards in NXT history, for obvious reasons. But that brings me to the question of the day. Who do you guys want to see return to WWE? Let me know down in the comments below, and that will do it for today's video. Hopefully you guys enjoyed. If you did, make sure you guys smash that thumbs up button. If you guys are new to the channel and you guys want more WWE news videos, which typically get posted on Thursdays, sometimes on weekends, make sure you guys subscribe to the channel and turn on the notification bell so you guys do not miss out on any new content that comes your way. And as always, make sure you guys follow me on my social media. Links will be in the description below, as will the info to my fan mail. It will also be in the description as well. And on that, this is your boy Nash, signing out.